These people really think that you're stupid. They really think that you aren't smart enough to protect your family. You've got all of these people on television, these Beltway insiders telling you that you're just imagining the cost of your gasoline going up or your grocery bill getting more expensive. It's just in your imagination. Or it's just a problem about the words that we use. This is literally what Joy Reid on MSNBC had to say yesterday. And there's a lot of stuff, stupid stuff that comes out of her mouth on a regular basis. But the fact that we are seeing record inflation, we are seeing the price of everything skyrocketing. People can't afford their rent. Oh, by the way, there's not enough diesel fuel. But this is your fault because you're using a word that you're not supposed to be using. We shouldn't be using the word inflation. Listen to her.
The people I ever hear use the word inflation are journalists and economists, right? So that is not part of the normal lexicon of the way people talk. So it's interesting that Republicans are doing something they don't normally do, right? Which is not use the common tongue, right? Not use just common English to sort of do on their campaigns like they're doing with crime. But what they've done is they've taught people the word inflation, right? Yeah. Most people who would have never used that word ever in their lives are using it now because they've been taught it, including on TV, including in newspapers. They've been taught this word, and they sort of wrap this word around whatever it is that they really want to vote, the reasons they really want to vote.
Oh, okay, so it's just the word inflation. We shouldn't be using it. I mean, this is how they talk to you. They think that you're too stupid to understand that inflation is at record levels. The value of the U.S. dollar has declined. People are running away from the U.S. dollar now. A few weeks ago, that switched and the dollar index reversal has unfolded. And now people are pulling their money away from the U.S. dollar. They think you're too stupid. Of course, these are the same people that support an endless war in Ukraine. These are the same people who used to be the party of peace. The idea that we're a party of peace in the Democratic Party, right? And now we're going to funnel billions and endless billions of dollars to the most corrupt government in Europe while you suffer at home. But don't talk about that, because if you talk about that, then you're some sort of a Putin apologist. No, I'm not. I just want to protect my family. Hello, why are we sending $80 billion to a corrupt country? I'd like to make sure that our milk prices are lower. I'd like to make sure that the savings I have in my account is going to be sustainable for my family. I'd like to make sure that my crappy 401k plan, which you know I'm not a fan of to begin with, is at least stable for retirement. Why did we just increase the Social Security benefits? Why? Because the cost of living is going up. And it's not even in keeping with the amount that we need to spend to live our lives. So, of course, the president can talk about we're increasing your benefits for Social Security and we're doing all of this for veterans. Oh, yeah? On top of the massive inflation that we've seen. So what you're actually doing is you're admitting that inflation is real. You're admitting that you're destroying the country, and you're telling Americans that they're too stupid to understand what inflation is. So don't even talk about it. You're the problem. Well, we're smarter than that. You see, all we need to do is go back to 1972, and the moment that our money, the US dollar money coins, backed by silver and copper and backed by gold, switched and became fiat currency, went from being money to being a currency.
I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets.
And of course, a very important moment, because now the US dollar is not backed by anything. It's backed by debt. It's backed by the United States' ability to go into other countries and force ourselves to shore up the US hegemony. That's exactly what we're doing in Ukraine. All you need to do if you understand that, then the world opens up to you. Because you're not stupid like Joy Reid thinks. But once you understand that the only reason the United States is in Ukraine, or in Syria stealing their oil, or in Somalia to shore up the Horn of Africa, is that the United States is scared about dollar hegemony and the U.S. power around the world. And it's collapsing right before our eyes. So if you have your family's finances tied to the US dollar hegemony, you are in trouble. And the writing is on the wall, guys. I mean, all you need to do is look at the BRICS nations, right? BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and Indonesia wanting to join the BRICS countries. Why? Because when you have the Russian ruble, which has exploded in value, and it's tied to gold. And you have the Chinese government importing additional oil from Russia, shoring up its relationship through the Belt and Road Initiative and making sure that that future with their precious minerals and oil imports is all tied together. And then you want to create a currency between Russia, China, India, South Africa, and Brazil that is backed by precious metals. Do you see the difference? Like, what boat do you want to be on? So I'm not telling you that you need to leave a country, right? All I'm telling you is to make sure that your family is not sitting on a sinking boat with a government currency that is sinking. So you live wherever you want, invest how you want, but be smart about it. So in my opinion, real estate investing is the number one protection against this inflation because it's a protection and wealth building mechanism that will preserve your family's wealth. Why we're so bullish on real estate is because of that very reason. No other asset class offers, at least in the United States, the tax shelter benefits that you get from real estate and as a hedge against inflation. So sure, the cash flow is nice, right? We invest for cash flow and passive income, but it's the preservation of the U.S., of your family's wealth against the loss and value of the U.S. currency, which continues to decline. So it's unsustainable. And this man-made crisis was all there spilling out before us. There was a number of people, of course, signaling that this was going to be terrible.
Well, first of all, I think the recession has already started. I think we're in it now. It's just early. In fact, the first quarter was already a negative print. And I don't think it's going to be a mild recession. I think this recession is going to be worse than the Great Recession that started following the 2008 financial crisis. So, and remember, the government didn't see that one coming either. And in fact, when we were 6 or 7 months into that recession, the Federal Reserve and other economists still claimed that there was no recession anywhere in sight. So this recession is going to be much worse than that one. And what's going to make it particularly problematic is inflation, because inflation is actually going to be exacerbated by the recession. So Americans are going to have the worst of both worlds. A worse recession than the Great Recession of '08, but worse inflation than anything we experienced during the 1970s.
We already knew that this was going to be bad. Once the government continues to print money that it doesn't have, and it's funneling billions of dollars to Wall Street, and Wall Street is not using it for research and development. It's not using it to expand. What it's doing is it's using it to buy back its own shares and then artificially inflating the value of its stock. And then, of course, shareholders could sell those stocks and make a lot of money. The only dog I have in this hunt is making sure that my family is protected, making sure that the investors who work with our company at Morris Invest are protected because they're investing in real, tangible assets like real estate with an internal rate of return of 18%. And as an ultimate hedge against inflation, you get the benefits of appreciation. You're getting the tax benefits because you're able to depreciate this asset. Right? And what other asset class can you buy using the bank's money at 25% down and they fund the rest of it, but you get the full tax benefits of said asset class? Nothing. And then is also, as I mentioned at the beginning, a hedge against inflation. So the value of this asset in great markets where we invest continues to go up. Don't fall for their garbage. Do not fall for them telling you that you don't understand because you're just a peon. You can't possibly understand how this all works. You're smarter than that. You're smarter than that. And tell these people that you're smarter than that by showing them we are not going to be putting our money in these 401k plans anymore. They just increased the deduction amounts to put into these 401k plans. Why did they do it? They say that they're doing it to help you. Of course they're not doing it to help you. Of course they're doing it to help Wall Street. Oh, deduction. The amount of people investing in their 401k plans is up. More people are pouring because they don't know where else to put it. They have no idea where else to put it right now because you've screwed them over. So they're putting more of their retirement money into a 401k plan that helps the government because you're partnering with the government on a 401k plan, and it helps Wall Street. So of course they've increased that. They want to help Wall Street. You need to be smarter than that. Remember, a 401k plan is not the best way to save for retirement. In fact, it was never meant to stand on its own as a retirement vehicle. It was always meant to be paired with pension plans. Pension plans have dissolved and gone. It was only meant to be just a small supplement for your retirement. It was never meant to be the be-all, end-all. And the government paints that picture that this is the way that you build for retirement. This is the way that you protect yourself by investing in 401k plans. You are smarter than that. So sorry, Jory Reid. This word inflation is not something that just started floating around recently and we're too stupid to understand what it means. We're all smarter than that. There's links in the description below. If you'd like to talk with our team, you can absolutely do that. Click on the link for Morris Invest. We'd love to jump on the phone with you and talk about what's going on in this economy and help point you in the right direction. Much love to all of you. You are much smarter than they give you credit for. We'll see you next time.